Yes, yes, it is only because of race. I just sit back and get bored when I see people switch up things to fit whatever narrative they want because they don't ever stand on what they actually say. Are people giving to Carmelo's Anthony fundraiser simply because he's black? The answer is yes. You don't have to defend his black people. You can say I'm giving to the fundraiser only because his skin is black. The problem I have is they don't have an issue when white people give to fundraisers simply because the person is white, such as the self-defense case with that guy Kyle that shot those people at the rally. It's okay for him to defend himself against illegal assault, but it's not okay for Karmelo Anthony to defend himself against illegal assault. And I'm gonna be clear on something. You gotta be careful how you use the word supposed. You say Carmelo Anthony wasn't supposed to be sitting there. When you say Carmelo Anthony wasn't supposed to be sitting there, you're not talking about law. You're not talking about illegal. He was not illegally trespassing. The key things that I don't think that people are paying attention to, little small things. Typically, sporting events, the players are on the opposite side of where the fans are. So if you look at where this tent was, typically the tent would be on the opposite side of the gate. There's a gate separating the players. This tent was in the bleachers where all of the fans were. Now, I'm gonna be honest, when I first heard of this story, and I have no details, I'm just like, why was he trying to sit in the tent with the players? It comes across like some crazy maniac, especially if you got a knife in your bag, like he just looking for trouble. And then I find out it was raining. Okay, now it's a little plausible now, okay. Rain coming down hard, he goes to sit under a tent. This tent is for the players or the track meet people only. Now, let's stay with the law. For this incident, let's stay with the law. Austin broke the law. Austin broke the law and assaulted Karmelo. Let's go with what Karmelo said. Karmelo said, touch me and see what happens. And so many people are saying that this is a horrible thing for Carmelo Anthony to say. But what does that mean? Touch me and see what happens. What does that mean? Isn't that the same as if you come any closer, I'll shoot? Isn't that the same? Isn't that the same as if you break the law and assault me? If you break the law and assault me, I will defend myself. Why is it okay in one incident, but it's not okay in another? He's letting you know it wouldn't be a good idea to break the law and assault me. Another thing I don't see people talking about, the fact that Austin was an identical twin. I never heard anybody see how that comes into play, right? Would it be reasonable to see there's a guy coming at me looking like he's about to break the law and assault me? I can think, is the entire team going to assault me? I could be afraid, I could be worried. But it just brings that more to fruition when it's an identical twin. I don't know about all these other people with the same jerseys on, but these two are brothers. There's a high likely I'm already sitting at a 2 versus 1 situation because I can see it. They are identical twins. Identical twins who play football. Identical twins who run track. Now, we get into this situation where people are thugs. We start stereotyping. I saw pictures of the twins throwing up hand gestures. Why they don't get the thug moniker? I wonder why. Now let's get into what could have prevented the event. Pay attention when I say the event. The event is Carmelo Anthony is sitting under this tent because it's raining, and this tent is for players. So if we're going to see what's the best way out of this event, we can't say he should have never been sitting under the tent, because it wouldn't be an event to talk about. So if he's sitting under the tent, would the best way to be to assault him and someone end up losing their life? Think about my son. If my son would have came back and was like, "Your dad, at the soccer game today, some dude came and just sat on our bench." But what happened? I threw his ass out. I would have had to have a conversation with my son, and I would have told my son. Why? Well, he wasn't supposed to be sitting there, so I threw his ass on the ground. What you mean, why? So what would have happened if you pulled out a gun and shot you? What you would have done? What if he would have left and came back with 50 more guys? What would you have done? Son, there's some crazy people in the world, and you don't know people. Remember, I was talking to you about how people have Rose Raid events. You don't know these people. The next time something like that happens, just go get your coach. Just go get your coach. Because to be honest with you, he could have pressed charges against you because you put your hands on him, son. I know people don't want to admit it, but how can putting your hands on someone be the best course of action? Austin would have left with his life if all he had to do, "Hey, you're not supposed to be over here. Screw you. Go get the coach. Go get the security guard that's at the event." And everybody walks away. I see people picking and choosing about a weapon. Why does the kid have a knife in his bag? That's cool if you stay consistent on that and you never change. Such as these little kids running around here and these parents teaching their kids how to shoot guns and have weapons in the South. A lot of kids have knives and stuff on them to protect them. If you stay consistent on that, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. But I hear people flip-flopping on whatever changes their narrative. Let's talk about standing your ground. That was a finicky law. I saw white people rushing to give money to get George Zimmerman out of prison. He was told not to follow Trayvon. He continued to follow Trayvon. He escalated this entire thing. He provoked this entire thing on the mere basis that he believes someone is a criminal when it's just a little kid walking to the store to get some Skittles and tea. His escalation, his provocation did not matter. He still was found not guilty. Kyle Rittenhouse, it didn't matter. He was found not guilty. On a stand your ground state, Karmelo Anthony doesn't have to move. And you can make a case, well, if he's sitting there, what kind of argument is happening for somebody to get up and put their hands on somebody else? After being warned, you might not want to do that. What is being said under this tent? We don't know. Carmelo Anthony could have been wild, crazy, cussing everybody out, flipping out on everybody. Or Carmelo Anthony could have been sitting there and those twins could have been the one going crazy. What evidence do we have towards that? Well, how calm and well-mannered are you if it escalates to you trying to put your hands on somebody? Just however you see this event take place, I want you to stay consistent on this, because remember, the roles are going to flip. So when you say this is dealing with race, it is. It was dealing with race when all the white people gave their money for Kyle's case. Black people weren't giving their money for Kyle's case. Now black people giving their money for Karmelo's case. White people ain't giving their money for Karmelo's case. It goes around in a revolving circle because people don't want to admit the truth. There's a big race issue in this country.